Namaste, everyone. Michele Granberg here. Welcome to another episode of Positive Energy, bringing enlightening television for your evolving soul. On this show, we're talking about what New Jersey residents can do to lessen animal cruelty and promote animal welfare. Animal cruelty has no place in a civilized, evolved, and compassionate society. Yet, animal cruelty is in fact widespread and normalized. Stay with us to hear how you can help reduce the suffering of animals. Positive Energy starts right now. So I'm here with Brian Hackett. Brian, welcome back to Positive Energy.
Glad to be here.
So Brian, you're the New Jersey State Director of the Humane Society of the United States, or HSUS. What is HSUS?
We are the Humane Society of the United States. We are the most effective animal protection organization in the world, I would say. We're nationwide. We have international affiliate, Humane Society International. We work across the board on all levels against institutionalized animal cruelty, whether it be factory farming, it be puppy mills, it be the fur trade, wildlife trophy hunting type issues. Across the board, we work on many issues that affect all animals.
Yeah, that is a really wide range of issues. And I know today we wanted to mainly focus on one that is coming up in terms of a bill. And so it's a sad issue, but the bright side being that there is currently a bill proposed to help. The bill is the Gestation and Veal Crates Cruel Confinement ban. And basically this is addressing the fact that mother pigs and veal calves are confined in crates so small they're unable to stand up, turn around, and take one step forward or backwards. So what are gestation and veal crates, and why are they so cruel?
So these crates are what we call intensive confinement of farm animals on agricultural farms. These cruel, extreme confinement methods are unnecessary and dangerous. And here in New Jersey, we have Assembly Bill 5236, Senate Bill 3401, that would ban the use of these cruel, intensive confinement methods. I think a really important component to discuss on this, as you know, the world as the world grapples with a worldwide pandemic, and as our country really is making progress coming out of it currently, the context of a pandemic in terms of these confinement methods is really important to point out. Numerous health experts, the World Health Organization, other scientists have pointed to these mass factory farming operations, and how these animals are kept is dangerous. And it's a contributor to potential disease, zoonotic outbreaks, and potentially pandemics. And this is a proven fact. So not only does this legislation have very pertinent public health benefits to passing, but it also is about making sure New Jersey stands up to ban and support banning, not just in our state, but nationwide, these really cruel methods for confining pigs and calves. Just think about this. I think many people have had the experience of flying in an airplane. Imagine being confined to an economy-size airline seat for 3 years. That is essentially what a gestating pig or a veal calf must endure in the size of space in one of these cruel confinement methods. So think about, 2 hours, people go crazy in an airplane being confined to one of those seats. Think about being in one for 3 years. You can't move around, you can't turn around. Especially for pigs, these are highly sentient animals, much more intelligent than a cat or a dog, animals that we cherish as pets. These pigs endure terrible experiences in these crates. They go senile, they go crazy. It's just highly stressful mentally, it's painful physically, and so this bill would get to that.
Yeah, they bite at the metal.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so I'm really glad you made the analogy to the airplane seats, so even for a moment, if people can put themselves in the place of these animals. And I mean, I get claustrophobic when I'm just in an elevator,
Right.
you know, for like one floor.
Right.
So thank you for really pointing that out. And if it were dogs and cats, people would not, you know, tolerate that if this is what was happening. So, you know, back to the legislation, what's the history of this? This has been proposed before, so what's the history in New Jersey?
Yeah, good point. This legislation has passed overwhelmingly twice in the state of New Jersey in the legislature. The problem was during that time when it passed, Governor Christie at the time was contemplating in the primary situation for potentially running for president. And rather than listen to the 93% of the state that had polled in favor of this legislation, and rather than recognize the overwhelming bipartisan support the bill passed with out of the New Jersey legislature, it was a nod to the Iowa pig farmers and pork producers to not turn them off from his campaign, and sadly he vetoed the legislation. So the legislation's been dormant since then. And now, roughly 8 years later, we have this new opportunity to pass this legislation. There's two wonderful co-sponsors, prime sponsors of the bill, Assemblyman Raj Mukherjee from Hudson County and Senator Vin Gopal from Monmouth County. They're joined by a number of other bipartisan legislators on the sponsor list, including the Senate Minority Leader, Senator Tom Kane Jr., who just signed on as a co-sponsor last week, so that's very exciting, and we're thankful to him for doing that. So we're really expecting this bill to move. We have a vast coalition of over 40 animal protection organizations, businesses.
Can you name a few of those?
Oh yeah, I mean you're talking local, statewide, national groups, even international groups. The Humane Society of the United States and Animal Legal Defense Fund are co-leaders of the coalition. We have Mercy for Animals and Animal Equality. I mean, there are so many. I list them all.
I love when they join together.
And yeah,
solidarity, unity,
absolutely.
show of presence.
We're stronger when we do these things together, and you know, we've united on this front. And it's not just animal protection organizations. It's businesses across the state of New Jersey. We also have a celebrity sign-on letter to support the legislation, which currently has about a dozen celebrities on it that collectively have the reach on social media of about 15 million people. And they're all New Jersey roots, these celebrities. Steve Van Zandt and Ethan Hawke and Paul Wesley and another list. You could just keep ringing them off. But really exciting. I mean, there's such overwhelming support for this type of legislation. It's narrow. It's narrow. You know,
It's a start, though.
all we're asking is for these animals to be provided a modicum of space to naturally move around before they're slaughtered. That's all we're asking for.
Now, of course, we vegans would love to have, you know, the slaughter itself abolished, but we'll take the baby steps and we'll take whatever we can gain.
As a vegan for many years myself, you know, I do have lots of conversations about the animal agriculture industry and how better it is for our bodies and the planet to go plant-based. But, you know, to this effect, we encourage people, consider Meatless Mondays. You know, give up animal products for one day a week, see how much money you save, see how much better you feel, and think about the benefit for the planet.
Yes, we'll attest to that. Feeling good. So what are the implications if the bill is passed, and what have other states done similarly?
So New Jersey would join 10 other states which have banned either gestation and or veal crates, and would join dozens of corporations nationally that have either stopped sourcing from producers that use these cruel methods or have committed to phasing out these methods. So it's really a broad movement nationally, and it's really exciting. And I tell our New Jersey legislators, if agriculturally heavy conservative states like Ohio and Kentucky can pass this type of measure,
Florida, I think.
there's absolutely, and there's no reason why New Jersey cannot.
Right.
Absolutely
Yeah, New
none.
Jersey's normally so progressive, right? On the leading edge of cruelty-free,
On many things.
on many things.
We have a lot of work to do in a number of areas, which we may get to today, but certainly in this area we should be leading for sure.
So let's go to the next one up in terms of a bill, the New Jersey Humane Cosmetics Act. What is that, and what does it propose?
So that's Assembly Bill A795, Senate Bill 1726. It's very exciting. This bill has over 30 legislators that are co-sponsors, which in my experience is unheard of to have that many co-sponsors on a bill at this point in time, bipartisan. The New Jersey Humane Cosmetics Act would ban the sale of cosmetics newly tested on animals after that enactment date, so we really need the bill passed as soon as possible. And we would join, just recently, Virginia and Maryland passed the bill. That progress follows California, Nevada, and Illinois in passing a similar legislation, humane cosmetics. We're recognizing it's absolutely unnecessary and ridiculous to be testing cosmetics on animals. It's outdated. It's unnecessary. It's cruel. And what's
It doesn't even prove anything.
Oh no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's why we're seeing nearly 1,000 cosmetic companies and other brands actually support this legislation, because they're moving away, and some of them stopping entirely from using these methods of testing cosmetics on animals because it's unnecessary, it's inhumane, and it's unpopular.
So that's the direction it's going. So, we need these laws. We need these to become laws, obviously. How about for someone watching, what can they do to help get those two bills and other bills like that passed? And what are some of the best practices in regards to lobbying and being a better advocate for animals?
Yes, so most important, and one of the simplest ways that viewers can take action, is knowing who their state legislators are in Trenton that represent them on the state level in Trenton. So everybody has one state senator and 2 state assembly persons to look their information up, what district they're in. They can Google the New Jersey legislature, the website, and look up their legislators by their municipality on that website, and call their offices, email their offices, tell them as a constituent you support these bills, you ask them to support them as well, and also the next step to co-sponsor the legislation, because being a legislator, being a co-sponsor is that legislator lending their official support to that bill, and that's really important to do. So that's the simplest way people can be of assistance, and also share this information on social media. You can go to any of the Facebook pages, at least for the Humane Society of the United States in New Jersey and other animal groups that are supporting these efforts in New Jersey. Share their content, promote it on social media, and share this information with your friends and family, because it's amazing how much people don't realize goes into these animal issues. Cosmetics on animals, gestation crates, that people don't make the connection between the bacon cheeseburger I'm eating today, came from an animal that was tortured to death. So that's really important to make those connections, connect those dots, and just be cognizant of.
And people maybe assume that it is done humanely, because that's what the industries really want them to believe. Right. And it's so behind closed doors.
Which is not true. I mean, the overwhelming majority of animal products sold in stores come from these cruel methods. Yeah. It's not farm raised, it's not free range, it's not organic, it's not those phrases that indicate some modicum of more decency to the animals.
And we always say there's no humane way to kill someone who doesn't want to die, or doesn't want to participate in that.
We all want to live. That's what we all have in common, whether you're a squirrel, a cat, a dog, a pig, or a human being. We all, as living beings, want to live. That's our natural instinct to live.
And we have a right to, unimpeded. So How do you feel about grassroots activism in collaboration, certainly as another way of advocating for animals and lobbying? And there's a rally, I believe, as well, coming up at the State House. Do you want to say about that?
Yep. When it comes to advocacy and lobbying and being a voice for animals, I think anything that's professional, polite, and within the confines of what's allowed legally, everything's on the table. Speaking to your legislators, writing letters to the editor, sharing on social media, rallying, protesting. The rally in Trenton is Thursday, May 13th at 11 o'clock at the State House Fountain Annex. And the coalition is hosting a limited attendance, socially distanced rally in support of the Gestation and Veal Crate ban bill. So if your viewers are seeing this before May 13th, we certainly encourage them to consider joining us. Attendance is limited due to the COVID restrictions. So
I'll be there.
Yep, I will be as well.
Senator Lesniak will be there.
Yes, he will. It's exciting. The sponsors have been invited, and there will be a life-size gestation crate.
I was going to just
there.
mention that.
Yes. So people can spend 3 minutes in the gestation crate to simulate the 3 years that the typical gestating mother pig has to suffer in one of those crates.
Horrible to think about those poor pigs, those absolutely poor pigs. So we have a few minutes left to mention maybe a few of the other bills: the wildlife killing contest prohibition, the court animal advocate program, and feeding black bears prohibition. You want to say anything about those?
Yes, so certainly the wildlife killing contest prohibition legislation is really a poignant one as well. It's Assembly Bill 1365, and it's pending for a hearing in the Assembly Agriculture Committee. We really need folks to indicate support for that as well. These killing contests are disgusting and heinous. It's basically a mass killing event of animals on a particular day for the sake of prizes. It's not even within the confines of wildlife management. It's purely, and it's even beyond trophy hunting, because when a trophy hunter kills an animal to cut its head off and hang it on a wall, that's a trophy. These people who participate in killing contests kill mass numbers of animals and then throw them in the dumpster. It's really heinous and disgusting.
And are there children that come to
Yes,
these events as well? It's teaching them
it's disgusting.
cruelty. It's passing the legacy of cruelty.
It's absolutely disgusting. It's so we've done undercover investigations of these killing contests, and they have happened in New Jersey, believe it or not. New Jersey, New York, Maryland. So we would like to become, I believe it's now the 7th or 8th state to prohibit these killing contests. California, New Mexico, Vermont, Arizona, some of these states are very hunting friendly that have banned these killing contests. And in many of these states, hunters themselves have come out in opposition to these killing contests because of how just disgusting and heinous they are. I mean, many hunters...
Even hunters. We don't want to say that and put them down, but even hunters back say it's cruel and unnecessary and heinous.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's not only animal welfare activists and environmental advocates who are concerned about the impact ecologically that these contests have and how cruel they are to animals, but it's hunters who say, we would never participate in something like this because it's so heinous, there's no fair chase, there's nothing sportsmanlike about it.
The animals are not hurting anybody. Overall, they're not hurting, and there's other ways to manage them, but there's some ethics in some of those hunters. That's good to hear. There's some
and I mean, at least at the bare minimum of ethics, that you're going to eat the animal, or you're going to, I mean, these animals are not eaten, they're not used for fur, they're thrown in the trash. Like trash. Disgusting.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. So let's go back to the Ban the Crates. I just wanted to mention the website. Do you want to say anything about Ban the Crates website?
So the coalition has a website, www.banthecrates.com. It's a great website full of resources about the effort, how to get involved. really encourage everybody to go to that.
Any other resources that you'd like to mention as we sort of begin to wrap up that people can check out? I mean, obviously all the websites of all of the groups in the coalition are good places to go.
Right. Their websites, their social media accounts, the banthecrates.com website, those are the best ways for people to connect, especially if you're on a computer.
Yeah, and that's definitely the way to join. So any sort of final words to inspire people to get more active for the animals and to think bigger picture, the future, the world, what world do we want to leave for our kids? I'm having the final words now, right? What world do we want to leave for our kids? Don't we want compassion? Don't we want peace on this earth and a nonviolent earth? Yes. I know you would echo that. What would you say?
Absolutely. You know, fact of the matter is, I think Gandhi said it, you know, the way that a society treats its animals is reflected in how it's going to treat its people. And that's certainly, I think, closing words for us all to keep in mind. You know, there's a lot of progress that's been made for animals. There's also a lot of suffering and a lot of cruelty still going on. So I think we need to be empowered by the progress we've made and also use that to enlighten and inform our path moving forward to address these cruelties. It can't just be people like you and I discussing it and doing it and protesting and advocating. Everybody as a New Jersey and a United States resident, citizen, voter, has the ability and power to lend their voice to the voiceless, and that's what we all need to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a great call to action, a reminder, and it doesn't negate human rights issues and human issues. They're hand in hand with one another. It's not picking one issue over the other. You know,
we can walk and chew gum at the same time.
We can walk. That's the analogy we always. We can support and advocate for and fight for multiple issues at once.
I certainly do. There's many issues affecting humans and society that I care about very deeply, and but animals and animal protection is my passion, and so we can walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yeah, walk and chew gum at the same time. So Brian Hackett, thank you so much. Thank you for all the work that you're doing with HSUS. Thank you for HSUS and all the work that they're doing nationally and further than that, and I guess we'll just continue. So thank you for being here on Positive Energy today.
Thank you.
Thank
Glad
you.
to be here.
We're wrapping up another enlightening show. Please visit www.banthecrates.com. Let's do everything we can to help animals. It's their world too. Thank you for watching. Join me next time on Positive Energy.